Alrighty, thanks, Scott. I'm Marvin Burnett. Scott, you know what? I'm gonna actually make up a question for myself. This way, hopefully, I answer it correctly as well.
Sure. Be kind.
One of the things that I have seen over the years. So I'm going to go into workflow. So workflow is that like it's huge. Like they've been adding so much effort and so many additional workflows and so much functionality to it that I don't think people actually realize how powerful it can be. So for example, if I go back into this test workflow here, so I've got this check badge. So people are often used, so anybody that's used to working with workflow, they're used to seeing, okay, I can click on this, and this is that criteria field, right? So what is my criteria? If I wanted to say, you know what, the batch ID is this, or the comment, or the frequency, or the origin, I've got like 4 or well, 10 or 11 fields here. People are like, that doesn't seem quite like enough. I'd like to have way more fields available to me. Well, you're right, and you should have way more fields available to you. I'm just going to, I'll hit save here for a second. I'm just going to close out of GP. So over the years, there is, when you log into GP, there's a file in the background called the Dex.ini, so the dexterity initialization file. You can actually add snippets of code to that Dex.ini file. So I'm just going to actually add something. So I've cheated here, and I have copied this. So just on the off chance nobody asks questions, I can take this QueryDesignerAllFunctionality equals true. I'm going to go right click, and I'm just going to go find where my GP is installed. So if this is on a local workstation, I'm going to want to update that Dex.ini file, which is located in my data folder. And there it is right there. And I'm just going to add this to the bottom of the file. Right, so query designer equals true. Now I exited out of GP, so I do know that for this new functionality to be initialized, I have to exit out, go back in, because I've made an update to the Dex.ini file. It reads that file every time it goes in to say, what do you want? Like, do you want some stuff tailored? Like you can change the window size, you can change font, you can even do a smart list export enhancement equals true, and it speeds up the smart list as they export out to Excel by about 10-fold. But let me just log in here.
Marvin, just for a sec. Yeah. One of the questions was, how do I check what version of GP I have? I saw it in the bottom left there. Is there also an easier way?
So you can always check the version when you're logging into GP because it'll show up in the bottom left here. So let me just click on this as well. So in the bottom left, as this window pops open, here's one piece of version information or one spot. Or if you're in GP right now, so I'm just going to go into GP, you will see the lovely little help button up in the top right corner. So as I go into the help button in the top right corner and I go about Dynamics GP, you will see here's the information, so all the build and the version information. So typically this is the number that you're looking for, so the 18.4, in this case it's the 1361, which tells me I have the payroll updates installed as well, but 18.4 would be my major build.
Thank you very much.
So that would be easily enough how to find it. Now to go back to that update, so I've actually updated that Dex.ini file. I'm going to go back into my company settings under workflow here and workflow maintenance. So a minute ago, you remember how I had maybe, you know, a couple fields available to me. Like I'm going to say 12 fields available to me on this. Now, with that additional code, you're going to see I have every field in every module now available to me. So under this, under the batch header, these are the defaults that they chose, but if I want GL posting date, series, mark to post, all I have to do is add those check marks. And then I can just go under conditions. And now those additional fields, GL post date, last marked post, stuff like that, have now become available inside this workflow. So am I limited to the defaults? No, those are just what people thought you'd want to see. Yeah, so that was a great little feature. And I think it was either Brittany or Tarhili at our office. Like one of the things we do internally is we have these meetings where we talk about new features or things that are really cool that people have seen and found it and shared that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's been so helpful in so many different scenarios.
You guys rock. Okay, one last question. Office 365 and the TLS 1.2. Will it affect version 18.2? The answer is yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Microsoft does turn off TLS 1.0, it is going to have an effect on version 8.2. So 8.3 and beyond is where they've done all their updates on.
Looking at the time, this was fantastic. If there's any last little questions, fire them off. Otherwise, you can also reply to the webinar invite as well as the Endeavour support desk, and we are here to help you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Marvin.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone, for attending.